How's it going? I thought it was just a great time for us to make flowers. It's very snowy and cold outside today, and that's a perfect time to make flowers. I've made lots of different flower arrangements for you from the flowers that we had the other day. And you always kind of get down to the point where then you have the stuff that's left in the bucket, right? And it's like, if we've picked our flowers correctly, and if we've figured out, made good color choices. Someone asked me the other day where I studied color. I literally studied color by reading books from my friend Leatrice Eisman. She is the color guru. She's the Pantone color lady. She's written so many books. And it's funny, I'll just tell you the story. One time we went to, she was giving a lecture, and I decided that I wanted to spoil myself and go see her because I had read so many of her books. And we had met on the road before and things like that. And I had seen her at events. We hadn't really met before. And I had seen her at events, and I decided I was going to treat myself. And I signed up, and it was in November, end of November. And she was giving a presentation in Cleveland. And so I packed up some of her books and took them with me. I flew to Cleveland, and I got in, and there was a raging snowstorm. And I got in late on the plane, and I got to the hotel, and the program was the next morning, and I was tired, but I was hungry, and I went to the restaurant in the hotel, and I was sitting there, and Leatrice Eisman was sitting over in a booth by herself. And I got up and I said, "Oh, Miss Eisman," I said, it's such a pleasure to meet you. I said, I am a huge fan. I have every one of your books. I even brought them with me to have them signed. And I think that you're divine. I think that your color wisdom is incredible. And she looked up at me and she said, "Well, my goodness, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm having dinner." And she said, "Why don't you sit down and have dinner with me? I don't know when the last time was I had dinner with someone who thought I was divine." And so we did. We sat down and we had dinner, and that's how I got to meet her. Then we ran into each other many times along the road with many events that we have done over the years, and Dallas and AIFD and St. Louis and all sorts of different places. And just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful lady, and brilliant when it comes to color. And so I have read all her books. My favorite is Colors for Your Every Mood. And it just talks about how we each have colors that we relate to, and how certain colors make us feel certain ways. And that really resonated with me. And so when I'm picking out my flowers, I'm thinking about how those flowers are going to go together. So now I'm kind of down to this spot. I've got these flowers that were left from the projects that I have. And so we've got green in here. Obviously we have pink. I've got 3 pink Gerber daisies that are still in their little Rosa Flora little thing here to make sure that they stay beautiful and work out really well and everything, and are straight and everything. And so I got that. Rosa Flora is also in Canada. Amazing place. Burned one time. And now they grow some of the most beautiful flowers. But they had a horrible fire. But they have come back. They're like the phoenix that rise from the ashes. And they have beautiful flowers. So we've got some pink Gerberas. I have pink. And I have some pink mini carnations. And I have green pom-poms. So those are, wow, that's really blown out. Sorry. How about that? But I have pink and green. And the pink and green, you know what? You're just going to bear with me for half a sec. I'm going to turn down those lights a little bit because it's bugging me, right? It's snowy outside right now. So that means that we could maybe back these off a little bit because there's a lot of reflection coming in from outside. So maybe that's going to be better. Thanks for bearing with me as I did a little bit. Oh, yeah, it looks much better. So see, they're pink and green instead of white. Pink and green. And so those are complementary colors that are across from one another on the color wheel. And those two colors are always going to create excitement. Now, the other thing about pink is an analogous color to pink is purple or violet. And so I've got some violet stock and some purple lace mini carnations. So what we're doing here is we're actually making a split complement. We have pink and lavender and green, and those are going to look great together, okay, in our vase. And we're just simply going to use these. I also have a little bit of foliage left over for my protea projects. I'm going to grab that real quick because you know what I always say when we're making an arrangement is foliage first. foliage first, right? So we're going to use a little bit of foliage first. So we're going to use a couple pieces of cocculus inside here. And again, I've got a smart vase. Typically when I do my arrangement that is, you know, kind of that last arrangement that I'm going to do, I choose a vase that's very friendly to my flowers. This one is, I have it in 2 sizes. You've seen this before. I use it for arrangements for my mother-in-law and things like that. I love it because it's narrow in the center and it flares out at the top. So it naturally pushes flowers to the outside when we're working with that, naturally pushes them out this way. And, you know, I think what's interesting is sometimes if we have a non-discrete vase, it really puts the emphasis on the flowers. And I think that that's really important because, you know, now we already see this foliage, how pretty that foliage is. And we're just kind of ignoring the vase. The vase is there to be a hardworking partner, but really kind of in the background. The silent partner in our arrangement with us is that vase. Sometimes the vase makes a statement and we accent it if we're doing ikebana or something like that. But in this case, just a nice little silent partner that's going to be there to help make sure our flowers look great together. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with a little bit of this stock. I think I've got 3 or 4, maybe 5 pieces of, maybe 6. 6 pieces of stock. Awesome. And if you go to ubloom.com, you can see the first time that I got to see stock growing in a field with my friends at Ocean View. It's just so amazing because they grow in Lompoc County, and it's the perfect place. There's so many other, there's so many great stock people out there. Joseph and Sons are out there. Golden Gate is out there. You know, there's just a lot of people growing stock, but it needs to grow in a place where there's a marine layer. And so at night, the sun would beat down on that area. And then at night, the marine layer, the fog would come in. And it just helps it grow so beautifully. And it smells like cloves. And the field that we saw, it was as far as you could see, was stock. It was just beautiful. And when the breeze blew, all you could smell was the clovey scent of the stalks. It was just incredible, just incredible. And we caught it all on camera, so you should go look at that. It's our visit to Ocean View and the California Growing Experience, and you can find that on ubloom.com. You don't even need a trip because all of our documentaries we've done are free to anyone to watch at any point in time. So you're going to notice that, hey, Jay put those flowers all on one side. I didn't mix them up. I didn't put them on one side. And what we're going to do today is we're going to group our flowers in groupings to make them more important, okay, and give them more impact in our arrangement. So on the other side of this arrangement, I'm going to do pink. But before we get there, we're going to use some of the green. Now, the nice thing about the green, a green in any form, is that it's a neutral. But these button pom-poms, these Kermit button pom-poms, are just going to be gorgeous on the other side of this arrangement. And they're going to help us transition from one side to the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in between my stock and my foliage. And I'm going to go all the way from the other side of the arrangement to the center of the arrangement with these Kermit colored pom-poms. And I'm sure this variety is not Kermit. I'm sure it's something else now. Our friends at Valley Floor grow all kinds of beautiful pom-poms, and pompons, P-O-M-P-O-N-S, pompons, spray chrysanthemums. And so the interesting thing about this lime green coloration, and I've told you this many times before, but it's something that I learned from Lee Eisman, is that chartreuse green is called acid green for a reason. It makes the other colors next to it bubble up. It makes the other colors more exciting. And so that acid green acts like acid, right? It bubbles it up. It's the only color that is unavoidable for our eye to look at. Actually, because it contrasts the red blood that flows through the retinas in our eye. So it's the first color that we see always. Excuse me. Okay, I have to get some water. Hang on. Do you always keep your water? I love Evian. Evian's my favorite. I am never far. I have too many open bottles of Evian all around the house because they're at every stop I make. And so there's one sitting there waiting to remind me to drink more water. So there we go. So now see how we filled that in? We have our lavender stock on one side and we have our green on the other side. So we have two colors that we've kind of been impactful with. Now, I have these beautiful lavender lace miniature carnations or spray carnations. And we are going to put those next to our stock. They're going to look great there, right? Because they kind of match in coloration. And so what's going to happen is we're going to move with color across this arrangement. And so I'm placing these lavender lace spray carnations even in between, because, you know, the stock, look at how it comes out and it has long pendulous line type. It's a line type of flower. And so we're filling in between it with these pretty miniature carnations. I had one here that was too short, but he can just go into a vase with his little bud and stuff on something else. We'll do that. Okay, then on the other side of the arrangement, over here, we're going to have pink, okay? And these are the Gerber daisies. But I think I'm going to start with, I've got a few pink mini carnations as well. So I'm going to mirror that spray carnation look on this other side. There. And they're the same shape and form, but yet they're a different color. So I think that that's a really fun way for us to think about using the same type of flower in our arrangement in a couple different colors, because it has some repetition that happens with it when we do that. Now, I also have some spray asters, which look like this, or Matsumoto asters is also what they are called. Okay, they look like that. They've got a little yellow center to them, so they're sunflower-esque. Okay, and we are going to use those in between over here with our green, in between our green flowers. See how we're going in there like that? And these typically have very long laterals. And the heads have a tendency to point downward a little bit sometimes. So they are sunflower-like in that manner. And so I'm usually cutting the stems apart and using each stem individually. That's one of the reasons that I really love flowers that have long laterals, because look at this. 1, 2, 3, and I already trimmed 2 more off of that. So this one had 5. And so really good value for me when I'm making an arrangement to get 5 flowers on one stem. That's wonderful. The Matsumoto or spray asters come in several different colors. They come in lavender, they come in pink, they come in dark pink, they come in white, they come in purple. Trying to think if I forgot anybody. I think there might be a peach even, so that we don't see very often. But there might be a peach one. Also making sure that the stems go into the vase. Very, very important. One of my favorite things, I can't remember who it was who told me this years ago, when we were talking about, flowers. And they said, the one thing that I know for sure about flowers is that the small end goes in the vase, right? So I always thought that was very funny. I think that's very funny that, the small end goes in the vase. So always remember that. That will be a good hint, first step for designing. The small end goes in the vase. Now I still have some more of these pretty little spray asters, but I'm going to add now these 3 Gerberas. I'm going to put them in here, and I want to cluster them together. Okay, I want them to be together because just dotted, they are not going to make a very big impression. So putting them together in one spot, similarly to what we did with our stock on the other side. Okay, so they go like that. That's pretty, right? So we've got those guys. This one's kind of over here by them too. But now, so look at this side of the arrangement, pink and green. This side of the arrangement, purple and lavender. I love that. Now I've got, you know what? This guy was hiding out in here. I've got a few of these butterfly ranunculus, and they actually have like a pinkish tone to them. They might look a little yellow to you right there, but they have a pinkish tone. They're really long lasting. Each one of these blooms is going to open. So I'm going to stick those in amongst my other pink flowers on the pink side of the arrangement. I like the way that they're pendulous too. And so by that, I have a stem here without a flower on it. I'm going to cut it out. Meaning that they come out of here and they're going to hang a little bit. That's the one thing that I love about, look at that. Look at that. The weight of that flower. It's kind of pendulous and hangs off to the side. I love that. Adds a little more interest to the bouquet. Yeah, one more stem like this. This has a bud on the end. The thing I love about the butterfly ranunculus is that every single blossom opens over a period of the next couple of weeks. And so that's probably going to be the longest lasting flower in this entire arrangement. So I have a few pieces of my green Kermit pom-poms left. Okay. And I really like those. They're a staple for me when I buy flowers because they make the other colors look more important and more vibrant. And I think that that's important. So I'm just kind of seeing this guy's fighting a little bit with that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you to this side. See, I got a hole right there. So that guy helps fill that in. I'm going to go right here too, because I feel like I need another one there. He's a little bit long. It's okay to go back in and change the length of something. I love that. I didn't like how he was overpowering the other flowers on this side. I want him to snake down in there a little. Snake down in there? Is that a word? Snake down in there a little bit. So that it looks like that. Now see, so we have our split complement. Complementary colors. So we have complementary colors. We're splitting it off. So red, actually, so we have red, green on opposite sides of the color wheel. Come up when we split, we get lavender and pink on either side of red. Okay, because blue is next to red over here. And, you know, so you get lavender and pink and green on the other side. And now look at how fun that looks. It's just a great way. I feel like this guy needs to be up here more. There. That's better. I feel like it's more balanced up here now. Okay. And again, remember, always do that little fluff at the end because we've pushed everybody down inside there. So giving everybody a little fluff is just going to be a benefit to everyone. And final step, spray with Kreisel Professional Glory. I like that I can spray it in one spot and turn it on the turntable. That's one of my favorite little tricks. I think that's fun. And the butterfly ranunculus that are in here, they're kind of flipping and flopping and going different ways. But what's going to happen is over the next couple of days, when it gets set in its spot where the light goes, they're going to trend towards the light because they are phototropic and they are going to grow towards the light. But that's not bad for kind of cleaning up what I had left, right? It's pretty bouquet, pretty bouquet. Split compliment. Thanks to my friend Leatrice Eisman for being my color guru. I love her. And thanks to you for watching. Remember that we have our premieres on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 2 p.m. I try and live chat along this side over here of the screen with you as we do that. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I love that. We thank you for doing that if you like the videos that you see. And of course, ring the bell because then you'll get a reminder that's going to remind you when the next premiere is coming up. So that's good. I generally put up a bunch of them at the same time, and then we premiere them over the next few weeks so that we can kind of keep track of that together. If you have any questions, make sure that you ask them in comments on this side while we're doing the live chat, or put them in the comments down below. I answer all those comments personally too, so that we make sure that we get your questions answered. All right. So until next time, stay safe and well. Remember, kindness always wins, and keep having fun with flowers. Thanks.